I was trained as a spy in sort of the traditional sense of the word, in that I lived and worked undercover overseas, pretending to work in a job that I'm not, and even being assigned a name that was not mine.
That's Edward Snowden saying he wasn't just the low-level hacker he's been portrayed as. In an interview that will be broadcast tonight on NBC News, Snowden says he was trained as a spy and even used aliases to work for U.S. intelligence agencies abroad. Joining me now with her take is former CIA operative and author of Blowing My Cover, My Life as a Spy, Lindsay Moran. Lindsay, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So I have to know, you actually did work for the CIA. What's your read on this? How does Snowden's job stack up compared to an actual spy?
To me, in my experience, it sounds like he's inflating his position and his training. And it doesn't entirely surprise me. I mean, I've always supported and applauded what Snowden did, which was, I think, to bring to the forefront a very important debate that needed to happen in this country about government abuse of power and government overstepping its bounds and monitoring American citizens. But, you know, I think he's really, unfortunately, giving ammunition to his detractors and his critics here, because to me, this reads as the sort of kind of typical spy wannabe claims. For sure, he didn't go through the tradecraft training and paramilitary operation training that everybody who's in the clandestine service, which is the operative branch of the CIA, did. His claim that he used aliases, I find that very dubious. He wasn't in the Directorate of Operations. He wasn't a human collector of intelligence. And I have never before heard of someone who was in an IT or analyst position using aliases that way or operating the way that actual spies did.
What are some of the responsibilities we would have expected from an analyst like Snowden? I mean, is it strange that he was working abroad for the CIA and NSA? Is that pretty normal for an analyst position?
I think that is normal because certainly we have a global presence and we need IT people everywhere and we need analysts everywhere. And for sure, Snowden could make the claim that he had access to troves of classified information that a human operative would not have access to. You know, at the CIA and particularly in the clandestine service, we kind of operated, well, we definitely operated with this need to know policy. That is, I would know about the cases I was working on. I would know the real names of the sources that I was handling. But beyond that, I wouldn't know anything. Now, for the IT personnel, they have access to a tremendous amount of information. And that's why I think the government has made the claim that Snowden's revelations have the capacity to be very dangerous to our national security, which personally I don't agree with. That said, the kind of training that you receive to become a spy is very specific. It's tradecraft training. It takes place at the CIA's, top secret training facility, and it's not offered to analysts and certainly not to IT specialists.
All right, Lindsay, really quick, what do you think? Does this latest claim hurt his cause?
I think it does hurt his cause because, as I said, I think it gives ammunition to people who will say, well, he is a traitor and he's also someone who's clearly not motivated by any idealism, but rather motivated by his ego. Within the CIA, admittedly, the people in the clandestine service are kind of condescending to everyone else. And my kind of armchair psychology take of it is that probably really angered Snowden. I think he was in large part motivated by his ego, by a desire for revenge. That doesn't take away from the fact that he revealed information that personally I think we as Americans did deserve to know. But I think he does nothing for his cause by kind of making these sort of James Bond claims of grandeur.
All right, Lindsay Moran, really interesting take. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.